We are a wind engineering and computational fluid dynamics consultancy firm. What that really means in sort of our 30-second elevator spiel is that we work as a liaison between the architect and the engineer and the entire consultant team so that we can add something to the project such that we're looking at any of the climatic effects. So we look at the wind, we look at snow, we look at ice, we look at rain, anything that's going to be potentially driven as a load on the, say, in this case, Stadia and Arena, then we would focus on that. Actually working globally, so we have offices in London, which is where our headquarters is. Our second biggest office is actually here in Kuala Lumpur. We have an office in Singapore, one in Hong Kong, another one in Abu Dhabi, and then one in New York. So each of those offices covers a different part of the globe. In an interesting world these days, so everything is highly confidential if it's coming up to be a very new project. But some of the projects that we have recently worked on would be the Atlanta Falcons Stadium, and that was designed by 360 Architecture. Björn Happold was a structural engineer for that project, and that is going to be built in Atlanta in the US. We actually did the wind engineering work for the entire London Olympic Games. So we helped actually work with the Olympic Delivery Authority to help them set up a strategy for the entire master plan even before London had won the Games. And then we took that forward to work on the main stadium, the aquatic centre, the basketball arena, the velodrome, etc., etc. And we've also done a lot of work here in Asia also. Well, it's actually a really good question in terms of timescales because the wind tunnel testing or physical modelling world or numerical modelling world has really changed dramatically over the last number of years. So if you had have asked that question probably 20 years ago, a lot of these models, they were actually made by hand. So essentially you would have to have a model maker forming plexiglass and then drilling in each of the pressure taps. We now have moved almost entirely in the 3D world. So everything is typically coming from the architects or the engineers in a 3D sense. And we will then take that model, send it to the 3D printer, comes back, wind tunnel testing is carried out. So typically you're now talking about a 5 to 8 week schedule, which is in stark contrast to maybe a 3 to 4 month schedule that you would have had 15, 20 years ago. Yeah, absolutely. And our operation is now 24 hours, and we have our tunnel which is remote controlled. So we can control it from anywhere in the globe, so from any of our remote offices, and that actually operates in a 24-hour time, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. So the wind tunnel testing world has totally changed. We have 3 wind tunnels and they're physically located in London in the UK. But what we now have is all of our tunnels are now connected by CCTV video cameras, so you can actually participate virtually with the tunnel from anywhere in the globe. Yeah, we have an aeronautical tunnel, which is where we do section model testing for long span bridges. That's also where we do any large scale testing for facade mock-ups. So say for example we did some work on the Bilbao Stadium, and that has a very unique twisted facade, and so we took that facade into the aeronautical tunnel to be tested, so in large scale. We also have a boundary layer tunnel, and then we also have a Formula 1 race car tunnel. The range of 1 to 200 to 1 to 400. We like to push the scale as large as possible, and we're very lucky we have a very large tunnel. So our tunnel is 5 meters across and 2.5 meters tall. And so the larger the scale, the better, because the more instrumentation. Last year was quite a successful event for us here. We made a number of connections, we met a number of really great people, and so this year we have the opportunity, we're happy to have the opportunity to be able to come back and exhibit again, and we're also speaking later today, which I think is going to be quite good. Yeah, although we would have been happier to avoid the haze.